Okay, so we're back again with another experiment. This one is the Interactive Advanced Concept Presentation 5. So this is the one with the penny oxidation. So let's get started. We needed a few more supplies than normal, but that's fine. I still have some vinegar left over from the previous experiment, so I'm just going to use that. And it's supposed to be 1/4 cup. This is a pretty small bottle. I think this is pretty close to a 1/4 cup, so I'm just gonna kind of eyeball it instead of exactly measuring it. And we also need some salt, so boom, we got some great value salt. I'm gonna get a teaspoon of the salt. Ooh, okay, I think that's good. I'm just gonna prep that here for now. I filled this cup with some water. You can't see because it's not a clear cup, but I just filled it up. And the most important part, oh, also we have our paper towel. The most important part though is obviously the pennies, the money. So my pennies aren't like super dirty, so it'll be interesting to see what happens. But some of them are pretty dirty. Like, okay, this one's pretty clean, pretty shiny already, but this one is pretty dirty. It honestly even feels dirty to touch, so it'll be interesting to see what happens. Hopefully it works out just like the video on canvas. So let's get started. We're gonna take our vinegar, pour it in the bowl. Okay, I might as well just use the whole thing because I'm not going to use that tiny little bit left. So here is the vinegar in the bowl. So there's that. Okay, now, oh, the salt. Okay, I was just going to add the pennies to the vinegar. That would not work. So we're going to add the salt to the bowl. Okay, and I'm just going to use this other little measuring stick as my plastic spoon to mix this. One thing is, because this is a pink bowl, it's kind of hard to see whether the solution is clear, so I'm just going to give it a pretty good stir until it dissolves. And it honestly smells really bad. I guess it smells like vinegar, but I don't like that smell. So mixing. Okay, now all I have to do is literally drop the pennies in, so let's do it. Okay. I don't want it to splash, but I want to show the pennies dropping in. And let's see what happens. So I'm gonna let them sit here for a little bit, and then in the following portion of the video, when I explain why this is happening, I'll include a picture of what they look like as a final product. Okay, so this is the second portion of our Interactive Advanced Concept Presentation 5 about the penny oxidation. And this is the part of the video where we're just gonna go over why we saw what we saw. So what we saw in that first portion of the video, just to recap, was the pennies were pretty dirty at first, and as they sat in the vinegar and salt solution, they got a lot cleaner and a lot more shiny and an overall lighter color. So the longer they sat in the salt and vinegar mixture, the more shiny and cleaner they became. So let's talk about why. So what's really happening here? When the pennies, the dirty pennies, are placed in the salt and vinegar solution, the copper oxide and some of the copper dissolves. So because of the copper oxide dissolving off of the penny and into the liquid solution, this is what's going to allow the penny to get that shininess and clean look back. So when we say copper oxide, we're talking about what's on the pennies. So pennies are made of copper, but over time pennies react with oxygen in the air, and a layer of copper oxide forms basically on the surface of the penny, and this copper oxide is what gives them that dull, kind of dirty look. I'm sure there is actual dirt or something on them as well that is making them look dirty, but mostly it's because of the copper oxide and the reaction with the air that's giving them this kind of rusted, dingy look. So when we place these pennies inside the salt and vinegar solution, the copper oxide is what's actually dissolving off of them. This is why it's going to look a lot cleaner. So this slide is just a picture. I let the pennies sit in the salt and vinegar solution for like 5 minutes, I would say. I didn't really time it. I just kind of left them in there for a couple minutes and then took them out, placed them on a paper towel, and this is the end product of what they looked like. I should have taken a before picture, but I didn't, so you'll just have to take my word for it that they look a lot cleaner. They're definitely shinier, because before some of them looked pretty dirty and really nasty. So you can see here, like this one specifically right in the middle is very shiny, and so yeah, not only is this a cool way that we see the copper oxide dissolving and pennies being oxidized, but it's also just a nice way to clean your coins if you want to. So, yep, that was it.